Hey everyone, What If Fan here, bringing you another exciting part of What If becoming a mangaka in One Piece world. You can find the fanfic title and the original author's name in the description below. Make sure to check it out and show them some love. If you enjoy the video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring that notification bell so you never miss an upload. Alright, let's jump into it. Chapter 61, Baroque Works Saga, Laboon Arc. Rob didn't care what happens in Mary Geo's, because he's back at the O'Hara art store now. He still has work to do. Tomorrow will be the day of the release of the new book from One Piece manga after all. His journey yet in publishing the manga has been very smooth, and Rob is already satisfied with it, but from now on, the real challenge will begin. For the Straw Hat Pirates, the Grand Line stage couldn't compare to the East Blue stage. Many facts will emerge, and he will have to face many unfortunate events that even he is unwilling to draw it, but he must do it, or he will die. Many times the world government will be at the interface, as the Straw Hats will trample their pride over and over again. And Rob doesn't think the world government will sit idly by and watch him destroy their reputation. At that time they would definitely start launching frenzied attacks on him even if he collected all the luck in the world. In terms of strength, Rob is fully prepared. With his current strength he can take on the Yonko, not to mention the Admiral. Rob didn't think that him will be protect his interests for long. Rob doesn't know what him is and what its goals are. He wouldn't be a fool to push his luck so much towards the king of this world. Rob only took advantage of the other side's boredom, but if him knew his boredom would threaten his rule over the world he would surely act. However, Rob has measures to make this protection period longer. Once he starts showing the anime series that he plans to show, Rob didn't think him who liked his manga won't love the anime. Inside the manga drawing room in his personal section, images of manga heroes One Piece and Bleach filled the walls everywhere. Rob was copying the new arc books, and when he finished copying hundreds he would put them in inventory right after that. This part of the story was talking specifically about the whale Laboon. Laboon Arc, or the Reverse Mountain Arc, name it what you want, is the first arc of the Baroque Works Saga, or Alabasta Saga. After the fiery events of Load Town, the Straw Hats make their way to the Reverse Mountain full of excitement and ambition after confessing their dreams and embarking on a perilous stream climb. Upon reaching the highest point of the Reverse Mountain, Going Merry with Luffy and his companions on board is dragged to the waterfall leading to the Grand Line and descended by it at a very high speed. But during their rapid fall, they find that something huge is blocking the entrance to the Grand Line. This arc is very important, as it also put out scheme for new adventures for the Straw Hat and his companions in the future. Also in this arc appears Rob's companion and doctor to whom previous Rob owed his life and many time from his past adventures, Crocus. Rob was anxiously awaiting how Crocus would react to this particular part of the story. Especially after seeing Laboon the whale, who started his journey with the crew of the Pirate King because of him. Crocus will surely be amazed when he sees his old version and the huge Laboon, since when he parted ways with Laboon he wasn't the last of that size. After a while, Rob finished copying the exact number of volumes and put them all in his inventory. This massive amount of books was going to be divided into every art store except for the hidden art store in the upper yard and the hidden art store in Little Garden. Rob was going to put a few books there. All this process is done by the system. All Rob has to do is to specify the exact number of the system for each store through the art storefront, and the system will do everything. Art store, Germa Kingdom. Mama, this bastard Rob hasn't come yet. We've been waiting for 2 whole days. Charlotte Montdior spoke angrily in his voice. But his mother didn't even care to hear, because she was overwhelmed by eating delicious sweets and reading manga. Mama. Montdior, stop, don't disturb Mama's mealtime. Do you want to die? The one who stopped him was Katakuri. But just go and rest a bit, we can still wait as long as Mom wants. At first, the Big Mom Pirates wanted to monopolize the art store tavern for themselves and drive out the assholes, but when they were repeatedly punished and deducted points from them by the system, they became a little obedient and gathered in the corner of the tavern. All this made them want to cut Rob into pieces. They're sure the bastard was having fun playing with them. But who would have thought that their fierce-tempered mom would become like a tamed cat when she explores the world of manga and the delicious food this store sells? In this case, she will get fat like her future version very quickly. In the teleportation room, a white glow appeared and Rob with a calm expression walked out of the room. It is not good to let the Big Mom pirates wait for too long. It will be bad. After all, they will be his gateway to the new world. Rob walked slowly but surely and walked out of his personal section. When the locals from Germa Kingdom saw him, they shouted excitedly of their joy at meeting him. Rob wasn't a rude person, so he greeted them with a kind smile. His reputation across the 4 seas was very strong. He was loved and adored by millions of people, which was why the world government couldn't do anything about him. Even if they wanted to discredit him at some point, and confirm the fact that he was a pirate and a criminal, it wouldn't do anything. Rob has carved out an unshakable place for himself in the hearts of fans. At this moment, the Big Mom pirates heard the commotion in the art store and stood up to see the situation. The moment they saw Rob coming towards them, they were relieved. Finally, this bastard came. Chapter 62, Make a Deal with the Big Mom Pirates. Meeting the beautiful young woman Sora. So, what do the Big Mom Pirates want from me? Rob looked at the angry eyes all around him and said expressionlessly. You've finally spoken, you bastard. Arg. My head. Mont Dior. What have you done to my brother, Sky Sword? Katakuri and his brothers present exploded in anger upon seeing Mont Dior fall unconscious with one look from Rob. Charlotte Linlin stopped eating the cakes and looked seriously at Rob. For a moment she felt her skin shiver when Rob's Conqueror Hockey attack exploded towards her child Mont Dior. She wanted to protect him from the attack, but she was too late. Rob was quick and decisive. I taught him a lesson so that he wouldn't offend anyone in the future. At least he should respect seniority. If he doesn't, he should fear the strong. Rob's answer was precise and cold. He wasn't afraid to irritate the Big Mom pirates at all. After all, this wasn't his first encounter with them. When he was nicknamed Sky's Sword, he had many encounters with the Big Mom pirates, who were a budding crew compared to the Roger pirates. Plus they were inside his store. If he wanted them to die, they would definitely die. Mama, I don't know what happened to you, but you became more dangerous than your captain, boy. Charlotte Linlin, make your children know their size. I didn't kill him now, but that doesn't mean I won't if he insults me again. Amanda, take your brother away. You don't have to worry about him. He'll be fine after a while of agonizing headaches. Yes, Mama. Amanda was a young pale-skinned girl with a long neck and long blue hair. She was rather pretty. Rob thought she would be 16 or so. Big Mom was at the moment still cherished her children so much. After all, she hadn't reached her future level yet. Even Rob felt a little surprised by these hot MILF in front of him. It is a pity that she will become fat and ugly woman in the future. Should he teach her some magic recipes to keep fit? Damn to your love of sweets. Rob didn't want to curse Oda this time. So you want me to open my store on your island in the New World? Rob and Charlotte Linlin talked for an hour about a lot of things. Rob didn't expect Big Mom to be so passionate about his art store. Not only her, but her children seemed to be interested, too. Yes, Whole Cake Island is willing to provide support for your store. You will be this queen's business partner. What do you think? This takes time to think. Rob didn't want to be too obvious. I know a lot about you. You broke up with the Roger pirates, didn't you? How about you join my crew? I can even let you sleep with me. Mom. Ha? What nonsense are you saying, Mama? Shut up, everyone. Rob. The blood in Rob's body froze. He couldn't expect those words to come at all. Was Big Mom that wild in her youth? What do you think of a woman who has married hundreds of men and tasted many cocks in her life? Rob's gaze turned cold this time. Do you want to have a child with me, Big Mom? Mama. This is a win-win for both of us. Don't you want to squeeze a beauty like me under your body? Big Mom's gaze was filled with lust, as if she was the one who wanted to push Rob under her body. She got used to it a long time ago. She was the one who pushed men down every time, sucking them dry. Not one man could beat her at it. She thought this was the best way to get a lot of benefits from this man. Rob's Conqueror Hockey exploded, and this time he wasn't invisible, but the wave was clearly visible. Big Mom didn't want to lose in willpower, so she launched her own Conqueror Hockey too. An evil smile formed on her pretty face, as if she was enjoying this kind of fight. Mama. This. Rob has this too. Too strong. The berserk pressure of Conqueror Hockey Battle has been kept to a small domain by the store system so as not to affect the attendees. However, 2 balls, 1 purple, and 1 red could still be seen bumping into each other in the corner of the tavern. Charlotte Linlin, I can think of opening a store on your island, but you should forget to get a child from me. I'm not a babysitter, I'm a man. Even if you are pretty women, it won't affect me no matter how hard you try. Mama. This is really unfortunate, you remind me, by that disgusting man Kaido with your words. Well, I lost my interest too, just your store is enough for me. The Battle of Wills ended with Big Mom narrowly losing in the end. Big Mom is still much weaker than its future version after all. Don't compare me to Kaido, I'm Rob. The Big Mom children watched all this silently from the sidelines, not expecting that Rob was stronger than their mother. But they sighed with relief when Rob rejected their mother's wild proposal. It would be a big problem if they got a strong father like Rob. Maybe the Big Mom pirates become the Big Dad pirates at that time. So, even though we won't be bedmates, or at least not yet, it wouldn't be a problem if we were trade partner, would it? Big Mom extended her hand to Rob, and Rob didn't refuse her words this time. Inside his store, Big Mom looked shorter than Rob, who was 260 centimeters tall. Outside the store, he would look like a dwarf in front of her, which was one of the reasons Rob refused to eat this hot woman after she offered herself to him. Rob's dignity doesn't allow him to sleep with a woman taller than him. Rob and Big Mom shook hands, announcing the completion of the alliance. In the future, the Trade Emperor and the Empress of the Underworld would be the main custodians of the fortunes of the world. And they will cause an endless headache for the world government. So I'm leaving now, Rudes D. Rob. I'll be waiting for you at my tea party at the end of this year. I can't wait to open your store on my island. I want to read more from One Piece and Bleach. And don't forget my offer still stands. I'm going to stop fucking men for you, mama. Damn you. The commotion subsided when the Big Mom pirates finally left the art store. Rob was embarrassed to leave immediately. He could hear the whispers of the residents of the Germa Kingdom who were in his store after all. The whispers were like, I can't believe the Saint Rob rejected such a hot woman. He's really a saint. If I'm in his place, I would immediately accept to have a beautiful woman and a lot of children for free. Isn't that the luck personally? Damn my luck, I've never slept with a woman before, let alone a woman she offered herself to me and I refused. Too embarrassing. This is a female for sure. Is the Saint Rob gay? Shut up, he's still here to hear you. The man who said Rob was gay was promptly kicked out of the store and he was prevented from entering him again for his entire life. This is the punishment he deserves. Oh, I told you, he'd hear you. When Rob was leaving for another place, he felt a look full of emotion looking at him from a certain angle. The moment their eyes met each other, the woman's face turned red and she hid her face in the One Piece manga book. Rob felt his heart beating when he first saw this woman. But at that moment Alvia's face came to his mind to remind him that he was a married man. Rob regained his composure and went to the table where the young woman was sitting. Hey, beautiful, can I share this table with you for a while? When the young woman heard this voice, her delicate body trembled and the manga book fell on the table, showing her heavenly face to Rob, whose heart throbbed once more. This woman was so beautiful. No, it wasn't her beauty that was the main point here, it was her innocent allure that made Rob's heart pound. She looked like a little bunny that he had to protect. Sure, Rob-sama, you can sit here. The beautiful young woman was very tense. Rob was her idol after all. Chapter 63, Elter Sora. Zeph amazement. Rob looked at her for a while without speaking, which made her even more embarrassing. Her appearance was very beautiful. She had flawless milky white skin, dark blue eyes that were still full of youthful vitality, and wavy blonde hair so long that it touched the floor length of it as she sat on the chair. Just like Sanji, part of her hair covered her right eye. Rob almost lost himself in just her looks. Ah no. Rob-sama, is there something on my face? Finally, Rob woke up from daydreaming and noticed that the face of the young woman in front of him had turned a red shade of embarrassment. Its attractiveness points increased again. No, there is nothing on your face, can you tell me your name? Although he liked this woman, he doesn't want to cause her and himself any more embarrassment. My name is Elter Sora. Sora answered in a mosquito's voice, her shyness like a spring breeze refreshing the heart. Elter? Rob wondered about this surname because it was the first time he had heard of it. Yes, Elter is my family name. You aren't married yet? Ha! What happened to you, Miss Sora? Steam is rising from your head. I don't know why you asked me that question, but I'm not married, Rob-sama. I think that my age, 18 years old, is not enough to carry a responsibility like marriage. This time Sora spoke confidently in contrast to her former shy self. Rob noticed that her hairstyle had shifted to cover her left eye instead of her right eye, which was very interesting. Then you are 18 years old, you are already a full-fledged woman, but I also do not advise you to marry. It would probably be a bad choice for a woman like you. Sora looked deeply at Rob, who had said this expressionlessly, but she couldn't understand what he was saying right now, even though she felt some familiarity in the warning she had previously received from an unnatural side. Rob looked at the One Piece manga on the table and asked curiously, he's received a lot of art points from Sora, after all, he's seen them all. From Sora alone he has obtained a total of 132,450 art points since he opened the art store here. With his photographic memory, he could easily remember how many art points he got from anyone. This number was too big for someone like Sora, who didn't have much influence in the original One Piece story. May I know the reason why you are so attached to this book? Rob pointed to the manga book that was open to a page showing Sanji holding a tray of dishes, his face showing a pure smile. Ah. That? How would you laugh at me if I told you the truth, Rob-sama? A happy smile appeared on her pretty face, as if she was already ready to tell him without really caring about his reaction. That's my promise, I won't laugh no matter what your answer is. Rob was really enjoying this conversation with this beautiful and eccentric woman. I don't know what is the reason for this, but every time I see Sanji I feel a kind of motherly tenderness. I can't describe exactly what kind of feeling it is, but something in my head tells me that Sanji is my son. His every move and every sincere smile from him and every moment he spends cooking seriously makes me feel that this is my son more and more. His tragic story with Captain Zeph, who sacrificed his leg so that my son could. Sanji to eat, it made me feel an indescribable pain in my heart. Every time I read that part of the manga, the same voice recurs in my mind, saying, see this suffering? It's because of you, it's better to didn't born Sanji into this world so that he doesn't suffer the same. Tell me, Rob-sama, am I crazy? Rob was astonished hearing this, but when he saw tears starting to flow from her eyes, his body trembled as if his heart had been shattered. I don't know what's wrong with me, but I can also feel heavy sadness like a mountain behind that smile, that voice in my head telling me that my son has suffered so much because of me. Rob-sama, tell me, am I going to be a wrong mother? Rob's eyelashes twitched. He couldn't believe what he was hearing now. If his will wasn't strong he would have been dizzy from the shock. This was the most ridiculous thing he had heard since arriving in this world. What voice is this? And why is he telling her that? This was baffling to Rob, but the most important thing at the moment is to calm this woman down. Rob doesn't know why, but his heart aches more and more every time he sees her crying. Somewhere in the East Blue, near the Oikote art store. A man, young in the appearance of 38 years, with blonde hair and blue eyes, who was very handsome and very manly. Unfortunately, had it not been for the strange beard tied with blue ribbons, his appearance would surely have captivated women. This man was sipping the sake while the people in the tavern looked at him cautiously. This is because this person is a dangerous pirate, nicknamed with Red Leg Zeph. Today Zeph and his crew decided to go to the Grand Line finally. But they came across with something very interesting on this island. They came across with the well-known and famous art store. But what he didn't think was that without his knowledge he became a world-famous man. Just like this. Old man Zeph, can you sign for me? Sign for me too. Please, sign for me too, great father. Zeph-san, are you really the same Zeph that appeared in the manga One Piece? Even his crew, smelling a stupid conspiracy and scattering all over the island to look for some clue. After all, they traveled with their captain for a long time, even before One Piece manga came out. Even for them, they saw themselves in the manga. Same shape. Same name. What the hell is this? Is this what their future will be like? They will become a group of chefs? Where is their dream as pirates? Zeph continued to drink the sake without paying attention to the pesky people who no longer feared from his identity as a dangerous pirate, but his eyes shone with a strange glint every time he came back to read the book of manga, specifically, the Arc Baratai folder. Ding! Plus 230 art points from Red Leg Zeph. Going back to Rob and Sora, Rob didn't care about any of the system notifications at the moment, although it was a strange coincidence in and of itself. Rob approached her and hugged her. After that, Sora felt with the warmth of his chest as wide as the entire world. Her eyesight became blurry before it became clear again. Rob moved with her to his personal section, away from prying eyes. In his own tavern in his personal section. RRR Rob-sama. What are you doing? Looking at her tense mood, Sora didn't understand what was actually going on. Don't worry, we've moved to my personal section of the store. Here, you can tell me everything comfortably, and regarding your previous question, you're not crazy at all, you're just a great gentle human being, Sora-san. Rob let go of his hug and went back to sit on a chair at the same table with her, although he wanted to hug her more, but it was better not to rush things. Sora didn't know why, but she was kind of disappointed when the warm feeling she felt in Rob's chest disappeared. But when the person she most respected and looked up to told her she was too great a human, she felt embarrassed again. There was a long talk between Rob and Sora. They got to know each other and eventually became good friends. Sora, who was just an ordinary person, didn't expect that Saint Rob to become her friend and to know so much about his personal life one day. Rob also learned about Sora's life story before she met Vinsmoke Judge and before she had any connection with him in her life. Her life was simple, though he had some influence on her in an indirect way. Perhaps if Rob wasn't in this world she would have already married Vinsmoke Judge against her will. Rob knew that most of her time, she was spent in the art store. Her family was once strong here in the kingdom of Germa in the era of the previous king. They were rich and even had part of the authority to rule an entire region in the kingdom, but with the rise of the new king Vinsmoke Judge he regained control over all the areas that were under the rule of the old families in the kingdom. He literally robbed them of everything, leaving them only the name. The power of the families eventually deteriorated, most of them left the kingdom and some stayed here. Ruling here in the kingdom of Germa was like ruling in the ancient Chinese kingdoms, where powerful families thrived. The Vinsmoke family was also one of the powerful families in the past and eventually dominated the kingdom. As for the Elter family, which is considered one of the old families, it has fallen to become like any ordinary family in the kingdom. Sora's father, who was the patriarch of the family, died of disease, which worsened with the poor conditions of the family, and her mother disappeared without any trace, and Sora became a lonely young woman. If it were not for the little wealth who remained for her after her father's death, maybe she couldn't even lead a decent life. Just like Belmir and his wife Alvia, Sora's file is now complete in his memory library. The appearance of the art store in the kingdom of Germa coincided with her tragic situation. From the moment she entered the store she felt a kind of absolute safety inside. Because of that she was able to escape from the claws of Vinsmoke Judge without her knowing. When she saw Rob talking for the first time to everyone in the kingdom when he opened his divine store while behind him Vinsmoke Judge was grinning hard as if he had swallowed a fly, she felt an indescribable feeling of satisfaction. She had deep feelings for Rob at that moment, but she didn't say it to Rob in their conversation, so as not to make it more embarrassing. He is a married man and she is satisfied with the status of friends and is happy with that. So Sora, what do you think about moving in with me? You don't have a place to live, right? I can provide work and all the amenities you need, and you won't feel unsafe anymore. What do you think? Rob was serious about Sora, having gotten to know her so well that he wouldn't let her associate with the trash Vinsmoke Judge no matter what. What about the plot? Let the plot go to hell. This is his world now. This is his plot now. If Sanji and Reija were not born into this world he would be really sorry. But if his friend who obviously considers him too dear to her dies, it will be infinite regret for him. Ah. Hey? Can I live with Sister Alvia? No, that's not a good idea. Sister Alvia will think I'm a bad girl. I don't want to. Her pretty face was showing sadness and unwillingness. She already knew that Rob was a married man, but even so, she had thoughts towards him. Traces of her adolescence still dominated her mind after all, but her gentle nature always triumphed in the end. She was like an extremely pure lotus in this nefarious world. What are you thinking? You're my friend, aren't you? Alvia would be happy to have a new sister. By the way, she is looking for female members to share her workload in the art store. After all, I have many branches of my store all over the world and I need a lot of working hands. Unfortunately, Rob was not a pure person like Sora. The truth is that he is an impertinent who wants to have everything beautiful in this world, which includes Sora herself. Plus, she clearly had feelings for him. But will he give up easily? Maybe he can convince his wife to let him have a second wife in the future, who knows? Until then, he will make sure to put Sora in his sights permanently. After much nonsense from Rob to convince Sora, he finally succeeded in dragging her with him to Ohara. And he had no problem getting Sora under Alvia's care. Sora was a girl who could charm even to females and make them trust her simply because of her innocent appearance. Rob knew that this look wasn't artificial but her true self. How could he not like such a woman? The atmosphere among Rob's waitresses has become even more lively with the addition of a cute new member like Sora. And Rob also carefully guarded his cute maids from the malicious eyes of prying eyes, as if he said to them, "These are mine, look away." Chapter 64, a first-class comedy, a whale loved by everyone in the world. Last night, Rob organized a raucous party to welcome Sora and Rouge on the occasion of their joining the art store crew work, featuring Rob and his waitresses, including Matriarch and her two children, Doflamingo and Rosinante. Rob organized a modern welcome party in O'Hara Art Store, of course at closing time, using modern elements of the system shop such as food, drinks, and music as well. Rob exploited the party to recreate the popular opening songs for One Piece and Naruto, and some of them Rob used in this small party. Although he was already planning to recreate them since he had already started creating the anime. He especially enjoyed their reaction when they heard the heartwarming song We Go. Throughout the party, Rob noticed the unfriendly looks from Rouge, but he still didn't care. Even if she hated him, it didn't matter. He wouldn't think of a married woman anyway. He only helped her because of Roger's promise. Rob wasn't someone who didn't keep his promises. Of course, Rob exploited the party again to enjoy dancing with his wife. They amazed everyone present with their unique unison. After all, this wasn't their first dance. They were skilled in all kinds of dance. Of course, they were more professional in dancing on the bed. And they were less wild in their dance so as not to hurt little Robin. This was Rob's way of doing things very creatively, just a little party, and he made a strong bond with everyone. Even the kids like Rosinante and Doflamingo have reclaimed their playful nature as kids, and this is what makes Matriarch and Rob happy as well. The next morning, the long-awaited volume was finally released, causing new waves of reactions across the 4 seas. The new volume contained new wonders that these simple people had not seen in their entire lives. Things like the Calm Belt, the huge Sea Kings, and Reverse Mountain, all these facts that only a few people in the world know about, mostly pirates and marines, they saw them in the manga for the first time. This was the main reason they love One Piece manga. It was a magical book introducing them to their world. Since Rob himself stated at the end of the previous volume that all the places in the story are 100% real, all One Piece fans have come to take everything they saw in the book for granted. As for the future events, real or not, Rob will leave them to figure it out for themselves. Before, the facts that most of the inhabitants of the 4 seas believed to be myths, of course, they would think of them to be myths. 90% of the people of the 4 seas have lived on their islands where they were born all their entire life. The new volume caused a huge wave of emotions, but most of the events were very funny for fans of One Piece. One of the reasons One Piece is such a spring breeze for readers was the hilarious comedy among the crew. For those inhabitants in this world who don't have a clear understanding of what the term comedy means, seeing the hilarious interaction between the crew as their ship perched atop the head of a sea king was so much fun. Yesterday, Alvia, Sora, and Belmere did everything they could to force Rob to give them the advanced chapters. But Rob was like a mountain and he didn't lose to their temptations no matter how hard they tried. Although Rob was happy to see that Sora and Rouge also had fully integrated with Alvia and the rest and had become part of the family, he refused to give in to their demands. It would be a betrayal of the other readers who have been eagerly waiting for an entire week. Flevance Island. After Trafalgar D. Water Chris finished his work today. He and his wife, Mary, raced to the art store to get the new volume before the store closed its doors or before the events were spoiled at them by a random fan on the road. Chris and his wife got used to this jogging almost every week. Sunday was the day they ran the most. As Chris expected, the elegant front yard of the art store was full of people of all ages. This place has become sacred to the people of Flevance. It is visited as heavily as this every Sunday. Since the art store first appeared 4 months ago, it has become the only common theme in the city, known as the City of the Wealthy. Even the royal family had recently been meek and no longer causing any trouble to the store. Although they hadn't really affected the store previously, they were secretly trying to discredit the store, and Rob was aware of it. But ever since they found out what happened to the Linville royal family, it seemed like they had changed 180 degrees, and started promoting the art store more vigorously. But Rob didn't really care about their trifles. After all, their fate had already been decided. Their future wouldn't be good. Rob didn't set up his store on this island in vain. After all, the sins of this royal family in this kingdom are unforgivable. Nami, the Grand Line is located between two other seas, which are the calm belts where no winds blow. Zoro, calm, huh? If there is no wind, so what? Nami, so the ocean. Luffy, oi. What was this? Earthquake? Usopp, we're at sea, you idiot. The emergence of the Sea Kings, picture. Sanji. Usopp. Zoro. Luffy, they're too huge. Nami, of course, this is the nest of Sea Kings. The bigs from them. Luffy, so this is the world's greatest ocean. Luffy, let's go. Boo-oh. Zoro. What was that? Did you hear anything? Luffy, who cares? Let's go. Nami, maybe it's the sound of the wind. There are likely many unusual rocky caves around. Sanji, it's not a mountain. It's a whale. Boo! Luffy, what do we do? Shall we fight him? Nami, are you crazy? We can't fight a monster like that. Luffy, but he's blocking our way. Luffy, hey, listen up. Luffy, what did you do with my own seat? Punch. Zoro, Usopp, Sanji, Nami, you idiot. He is looking at us. Luffy, come on, damn you. Zoro/Usopp, shut up, you idiot. Luffy, ah. Whale scene of going merry swallowing whale. Equals. Ha 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 ha. Chris looked at his wife Mary, who hadn't stopped laughing at the beginning of the chapters again, and went back to reading the contents of the volume again. It was a really fun and funny part of the story. He loved every part of it. Both Chris and his wife especially loved Laboon the whale. When Crocus started telling Laboon's story, Mary's laughter turned to tears. Even him, who could control his emotions somewhat, felt suffocated and wanted to cry when he read Laboon's story. This whale was pathetic. They also cursed Miss Wednesday and Mr. Nine, those clowns trying to catch Laboon. This Mr. Crocus, a really great man, has built an artificial island in the middle of a whale's stomach to cure it. This is the farthest world medicine can reach. As a doctor, I salute him. I got so many amazing therapy ideas from this man. Yes, dear, I wish this great person was real. At least we could look for him to greet him. Mary wiped her tears and said with a pure smile, unfortunately, I don't think a great person like this would ever exist. On Oro Jackson, in the New World Sea. Crocus, achoo. What's wrong with you, Crocus? Can a doctor get sick too? Crocus was checking Roger in the captain's room when he suddenly sneezed. Do you really think doctors don't get sick? What a idiot you, Roger. Wahahaha, at least the doctors live long, right? Roger said with his usual smile. Maybe it is true, but the idiots don't live long, it is a certain fact. Wahahaha, your tongue is getting sharp, doctor. So, what did you find? Is there something wrong with my body? Roger's mood turned serious in the meantime. I can't confirm anything with these simple tests, Roger, just stay still and don't move. Crocus' still young face was sweating profusely at this time. He was praying to the gods that what he had discovered was wrong. Just tell me what you found out. This is my body and I can tell its condition, you know. The new volume spread across the 4 seas, and its growing popularity caused Rob to accumulate a lot of art points and EXP again. This made Rob's mood become more and more excited to draw the next volume, but the EXP wasn't enough yet to reach level 10. Although it continued to rain with EXP on him from the Eastern Blue, the Western Blue, the Northern Blue, the Southern Blue, the Sky Island, the Women's Island, and Mary Geos too. The million EXP tape is no joke at all. Laboon, the loyal whale, has become the most famous whale in the world. His sad story caused a reaction that made the inhabitants of this world learn the meaning of loyalty again. And the pirates' crew who abandoned Laboon became ruthless sinners in the hearts of the fans. They will change their minds only in the future, when they find out the truth about Pirates Rumber's saddest story. And the shocking truth in that is the fact that there was Laboon in the Grand Line Gate was already confirmed by the merchants going and coming back from the Grand Line, and some pirates who were lucky enough to come back from the Grand Line. In a matter of a few days, the fact that Laboon, who is still a small whale waiting for the return of his old comrades, and doesn't move an inch from there, swept through, but Crocus was not seen anywhere. Unfortunately, Crocus had followed Roger on his ship years ago intending to search for information about the Rumbar pirates, and he lost himself in the pleasure of traveling with Roger. This spreading story caused such a huge commotion that even Rob didn't think it was possible. Even there are crews of pirates from the four seas who are brave enough. They went to the Grand Line to try to calm the pathetic whale by Luffy's way. But little did they know that they needed a plot armor, a brain without cells, and Luffy's power if they wanted to repeat that scenario. So Rob didn't care about the fate of these sentimental pirates, but he still posted a warning in art stores, warning people with the daring idea of looking for Laboon, they would be in great danger for sure. He also added the fact that he would personally restore Laboon and calm him down in his own way. Marineford, Office of the Fleet Admiral. Peru. Gotcha. Fleet Admiral is on the phone line. Who is with me, sir? Fleet Admiral Kong spoke in a friendly manner because he already knew that the call was from Mary Geos. Fleet Admiral, this is St. Crotland. I want you to send the Admiral to the Grand Line Gate as soon as possible. Protect Laboon's whale at all costs. It's pathetic, crying sounds. Crying sounds. Ha? I'm sorry, Your Holiness, but I don't understand what you're saying. Chapter 65, Changes in Mary Geos. Those trash celestial dragons. How could they use their authority in such useless matters? I mean, Laboon is a really good whale and deserves protection, but can we confirm the fact that that little whale is Laboon himself? The problem is not here. The real problem is that the celestial dragons are getting emotional. Wake up guys, something is wrong here. The bald Gorosei spoke with a cold expression. The rest of Gorosei looked at each other suspiciously. Were they under the control of something? Of course not. So what happens? They all know how mean and useless celestial dragons are. Scum like them can't be fixed. They lost their human selves and their common sense a long time ago. 800 years of absolute freedom and absolute luxury, not a joke. Even monks would be turned into scum if they were given 800 years of absolute power, not to mention ordinary humans. But ever since the art store appeared, it seemed as if the celestial dragons were being brainwashed little by little. Within a week, torture of slaves was reduced by 40%. This fact alone would have been hard to believe if the numbers were not from a side very credible. Not only that, but the mood of the slaves has become more strange recently. They have become more obedient and there are almost no more rebellions. In a week the rate of slave rebellion has decreased by an overwhelming 90%. This was even more terrifying. For the five elders, they didn't know the exact reason for everything that was happening, but it was related to the art store for sure. Well, don't worry, Sama said the art store in Mary Geos is very good, so let's not talk about it again. The tall Gorosei wiped his long beard with his hand as he spoke. Yes, Sama's word is the law. It doesn't matter what happens to the celestial dragons, but we have to prevent them from using the authority in such trivial matters. I can't believe we have become a joke among the ranks of the elite's navy. For Sengoku to be personally sent to retrieve just a whale, I never thought something like this could happen one day, all because of the influence of the art store. Didn't you guys notice? Another Roger Pirates member appeared in the manga, the ship doctor, Crocus, who was shown by the author in a very good way, unlike his captain who killed him in the first chapter. What the blonde-haired Gorosei said definitely caught the attention of the rest. They read the previous volume as soon as it was released. This time they didn't need to wait for Cypher Pole agents to send them photocopies. They had the art store in their house. although it was very expensive, the Gorosei didn't really care. In their eyes, a million berry is no different than one berry. But the question of the high price compared to the rest of the art stores scattered in the Four Seas certainly caught their attention, as did the magical payment method and everything magical in the store. Although angry at what they called unscrupulous pirate blackmail, they were also happy in a way. The art store itself was a great gift to them. At the moment they were waiting for the results of Vegapunk's search on the art store, who was definitely the one most excited to study. Since the emergence of the art store in Mary Geo's, Vegapunk has only come out of it when he is forcibly evicted when the store closes its doors. I can't believe what's going on in Mary Geo's, sending the Admiral to get a whale back. What a funny joke, ha ha ha. Ha ha ha, you're right, that's so funny. How many celestial dragons asked to send the Admiral to this mission? I heard they are more than 10 celestial dragons, BFT. Ha 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 ha. Silence. I will throw everyone who speaks one more word on this subject into the sea. Hey! We're sorry, Admiral. The Marines who had been chattering a little while ago fell silent the moment they heard Admiral Sengoku's angry scream. Shay! What a farce! Sengoku took his eyes off his subordinates who had stopped talking and looked toward the huge gate of justice that was already opening its doors. They were on a warship heading towards the reverse mountain for the mission of retrieving the whale. Even Sengoku was embarrassed by the situation, but what would he do? An admiral couldn't disobey one celestial dragon, let alone 20 of them. And they all want the same silly thing. Recover Laboon, protect him, search for the Rumbar pirates, and reunite them with it. What a joke! When he received the mission order from Fleet Admiral Kong, even known as Wise Admiral, his wisdom ended here. Finally, he sighed and accepted the task. But before he goes on this ridiculous task, he receives advice from his old friend Zephyr. He still remembered his words and his earnest expression back then. Start a flashback. Marine Ford. Oi, Sengoku. I have valuable advice for you before you go on your mission. What do you have to tell me, Zephyr? Sengoku looked in astonishment at his old friend's expression that seemed very serious. Don't underestimate a mission to do with that man, no matter how ridiculous and meaningless it may seem. Ha? Do you mean Sky Sword? The author of that One Piece book? Yeah. I've already suffered because of him, you know. Now I remember, you've moved your family home to Marineford because of a warning he gave you. I've never seen you take someone so seriously. Interesting. End of flashback. Well, I hope I don't have an unfortunate accident like yours, my old friend. Using the sea shortcuts of the Navy and the world government, Sengoku warship was already close to its destination. Unfortunately, when Sengoku arrived, the whale didn't find anywhere no matter how much he searched. The Marines deployed in a wide area of the sea from the Red Line to within 5 kilometers of the sea, but to no avail. A few hours before their arrival, Rob had already taken Laboon away. Damn my luck! Where did the damn whale disappear to? Sengoku was furious but eventually had to report his failure to find the whale. But the fleet admiral gave him 2 more days of searching. If they didn't find it they could return. Chapter 66, Laboon discovers the fate of the Rumbar pirates. Rob's promise. Reverse Mountain, Grand Line. 3 hours before the Navy reached this place, a flash of lightning appeared in front of the Twin Cape Lighthouse, transforming into the shape of a man. Here is where his friend Crocus used to live. Rob looked at Crocus' house, which was locked and looking unclean from the outside. This place had been neglected since leaving Crocus, who was also the lighthouse keeper. Rob approached the sea and waited for Laboon to appear. The appearance of this whale in the manga caused him a lot of trouble, but even so, Rob couldn't hate this cute whale. He was almost being beaten by his wife because of this whale too. Alvia entered the pampered wife mode and asked him to take Laboon to the Sea of Ohara, where she would take care of him herself from now on. When she read the new volume on Laboon's story, in particular, her tears didn't stop. She was overly emotional, all of which made Rob even tenser when he remembered Water 7 arc and Ines Lobby arc when he was going to show Robin's past. If the story of just a whale causes her so much pain, what will it be like when you watch her story and the story of her child, in a world where there is no husband? Rob doesn't want to think about that now. It was hard to believe this weeping wife was the same strong woman who appeared on the original show and stood firmly in front of CP5 agents and their chief, pointing at them with her rifle. Well, even though this violent side of his wife was still the same and even stronger, her weak side that she only showed in front of him became more visible as well, especially at this difficult stage of pregnancy. Rob refused Alvia's request to bring Laboon to the Sea of O'Hara naturally because he didn't want a pet that would be as big as a huge mountain in the future. But when he saw Alvia's angry face, he nodded obediently, while inwardly angry at the reaction of Rouge, Sora, Belmire, and the rest of the waitresses who were celebrating with joy. He wanted to make this world chaotic by his manga. But why does it seem that his life is becoming chaotic and the world is becoming more peaceful? Did the gods curse me from that divine network or what? Rob took a few minutes to calm himself down. After all, the story parts that would make the world so chaotic had yet to arrive. All secrets will be revealed one by one. Little by little the doubt and mystery will begin to envelop the entire world after every great event in the manga. And chaos will begin to spread after that. Until then he has to put up with it. While he was immersed in thought, a 30-meter-wide whale appeared from the sea and sprayed it with water from the whole of its head. Rob's face trembled as he looked at the one responsible for wetting his body with water. Laboon, who was still young at the moment, was playing merrily in the water. He hadn't seen a human in a long time after all. His behavior looked more like a dolphin than a huge whale. "Hello, Laboon, let me introduce myself. I'm Rob, the crewmate of your friend, Crocus, who's gone and hasn't come back yet." "Boo-oh." Laboon stopped near Rob and stared at him intently. From the moment he heard Crocus' name he became more interested in this human. After all, Crocus was his friend too. "I have two news for you, one bad and one good. If you want to hear them, just nod." As for Rob, he didn't think he'd talk to a whale one day. Such events only happen in dreams. But here in the pirate world, even the wildest dreams can come true. Although Laboon hasn't reached his same gigantic size 27 years from now, his current size is still considered huge in comparison to a human, so when he nodded towards Rob the seawater was sprayed again, but this time Rob was ready as he turned into lightning. The moment the water came into contact with his body, it evaporated completely and the salt scattered in the air. "First, I hope you'll calm down and let me finish my words without you having a backlash, okay?" "Boo!" Laboon nodded again. "No, you should probably watch it for yourself. I guess words won't be enough to get the message across. Wait a minute, I'll let you see it all for yourself." Rob took the videotape that he prepared in advance for emergencies and put it on the projector. "Musical score ya-ho-ho-ho, musical score ya-ho-ho-ho. ×2. Musical notes Binkasu no Sakewa, Todoken I Yuki yo musical notes. Musical notes Yumakase Kimakase Namimakase musical notes." A big video projection appeared on the red line right in front of Rob and Laboon's eyes. Its heroes were the Rumbar pirates, unfortunately, in their last moments. Rob took this clip from his memory of Brook flashback. Rob played a video presentation followed by this music in the background by the projector he had bought from the system shop. It was itself a never-ending mobile generator, so electricity wasn't a problem. The video and music he was able to repeat again, thanks to his photographic memory and the system feature, video projection, which can perfectly restore the sound and image from his memory and can even correct the flaws and gaps in the memories. When Laboon heard the song that has been repeating in his mind for the past years, again reluctant to the world around him, the owner of the voice was familiar to him. His eyes widened in plates and tears began to flow from his eyes like a dam when he saw the crew who had always dreamed of meeting them again. The song sung by Brook and the crew in their last moment before death resonated at the Twin Cape, and the only viewers of this saga were one man and one whale. Rob couldn't calm Laboon, who started screaming every time someone from the crew fell without getting up again, so he let him scream as he wanted. In the end, Brook was the last to fall dead and the song stopped. The situation of Laboon, who witnessed all this, also deteriorated. Rob felt sorry for the whale, so he had to say something. "Don't worry, Brook will come back from the dead, just keep watching." When Laboon heard this, stopped crying and kept watching. Brook eventually came back from the dead by the devil fruit ability, and he searched his body for an entire year, eventually only finding his skeleton. The whale's screaming turned into cries of joy when he saw his friend returning from death. Rob manages to convince Laboon to come with him when he promises him a reunion with Brook. But the problem is how to transport the huge whale to Ohara from this place. Rob got a rather crazy idea. East Blue, Log Town. On this day, a strange phenomenon occurred in the sky of the peaceful town. A huge ball appeared in the sky and dimmed the sunlight, causing an eclipse-like event. The strange ball started to grow bigger and bigger above the heads of the inhabitants, who stopped what they were doing and stared at the sky in astonishment. Boo! The whale's voice echoed above the sky of Log Town, and it rained even though there were no clouds in the sky. This. No way dash. How could, am I dreaming? A whale falling from the sky? Run. Rob was under Laboon's body, carrying him from below while flying using his paper wings backed by hockey and lightning. Carrying a whale weighing tens of tons and flying with it from the Grand Line Gate to Log Town is really hard work. This quest required infinite stamina, and that was exactly what Rob was not lacking. A person with his strength level wouldn't have been difficult to carrying an immature whale and flying it. Rob descended into the range of the art store under the eyes of the spectators who had nearly fallen out of their sockets in shock. As he approached the store, Laboon's massive body began to shrink into the size of a dolphin. Rob laughed at Laboon's shock at the situation and walked into the store, leaving the stunned crowd outside. Was that Laboon with the store owner, right? Not possible. Laboon. Chapter 67, Laboon's return to his homeland. Doflamingo and Rosinante training. West Blue, a hill on the coast of Ohara Island. There are many trees and green vegetation in this place. Various types of sea and wild birds chirped and gathered on a black mass in the sea by the hill overlooking the sea. Boo! Water erupted from the black mass, scattering the birds gathering once more. The women's pleasurable laughter spread across this place when seawater rained down and wet their graceful bodies once more. Rob was leaning against his four-wheel drive car Ford while smoking a cigarette and quietly looking at the celestial scene playing before his eyes. The maids' clothes got wet and stuck on their celestial bodies, allowing their magnificent origins to unfold in their fullest manifestations. Seeing this scene combined with the beautiful nature of this place was a blessing for Rob. In fact, only the very happy smile on his wife's face was enough for Rob. If he knew that bringing this whale here would make her so happy, he wouldn't have even thought of saying no the first time. He was living to see that happy laugh on her face in this life after all. Laboon, are you happy to be home again? From what I know, whales of your kind live in the Western Blue in abundance. Alvia patted the body of the huge whale and asked it. Boo! Ha, I'm glad to know that. Alvia-san. Do you really understand whale language? Rouge wondered in shock. For a moment she thought that maybe this woman could have the voice of all things too. Rouge can hear everything going on in a whale's mind, after all, because she has that ability, but how can Alvia understand that? It is not, although I cannot understand what he wants to express as plain words, I can read his body language and translate it into words. After all, I'm an archaeologist and an adventurer, I have gained this ability because of that. I can tell that her answer was like this. Yes, I'm happy with that, I miss this sea. Rouge was shocked again because what the whale had said was almost the same as what Alvia had said. Boo! You are great, big sister Alvia. He agrees with your words now, doesn't he? The stars were practically appearing in Belmir's eyes. For the first time she knew that body language could be transformed into words. It's her, not him, Belmir. Ha! Do you mean that the gender of the whale is female? Exactly. Big brother Rob. Will Luffy fulfill his promise to Laboon in the manga? Rob looked at Rosinante, who had asked this question. He was 8 years old and seemed to have become more open since he started going to school. Rosinante's futuristic Joker-like face appeared and overlapped with that of the kid Rosinante. For a moment Rob was stunned. Big brother Rob? Ah, sorry, I got a little lost. What was your question? This is because you smoke. You should stop smoking. The teacher, she told us that it is bad for health and for the mind as well. Rob looked at little Rosinante with a bit of amazement and then laughed. Ha ha, your teacher is really right, kid. Rob patted Rosinante's head and complimented him, under the jealous eyes of little Doflamingo. Rob noticed this and patted Doflamingo's head as well. But did you forget that I am your teacher too? No, we haven't forgotten, teacher, X2. Good, Rosinante, you asked me earlier if Luffy would keep his promise and meet Laboon to fight him again, right? Yes. Rosinante answered in his childish voice again. You will surely find the answer if you keep reading the manga. Now it's time for you to train again, kids. Rosinante, he. Doflamingo, yes, that's what I've been waiting to hear from you. Rob carried Doflamingo and Rosinante like empty bags and threw them in the back seat of the car. Don't forget to wear your safety belt, kids. Rob threw the semi-finished cigarette on the ground before crushing it with his leg and burying it in the dirt. Smoking was a bad habit that followed him from his previous world, unfortunately, but he is immortal and can smoke as he wants. As for you, dear mortal reader, it is better to stop. He looked at Matriarch, who she was standing next to the group of women at the end of the hill and said, Miss Matriarch, I'm taking your children for another training lesson, so you can enjoy your time with the girls without worrying about these kids. Yes, benefactor, I would be at peace if they were with you. The four-wheel drive car stopped in a mountainous area devoid of any residential communities, and 2 kids and 1 man got off. Doflamingo, I will see your progress in the devil fruit mastering. Show me the results of your training so far. Hey! The aura around Doflamingo changed and his hands began to turn into lumps of threads that became in the form of a sharp edge. He looked toward a rock near him and a glint was reflected from his glasses. Then he quickly sped towards the rock and tore a large part of it with his sharp strings. Rob started training them physically about a month ago, and the workouts ranged from running, squats, and push-ups to rock lifting and weight dumbbell training, from the system shop of course. In addition to this, he would provide them with the meat of the Sea Kings, and after each infernal training lesson, he would make them eat a lot of meat. This is how training in a pirate world should be. Rosinante's training was less intense than Doflamingo's because he was still younger and weaker than his brother. It's all just warm-ups. When the time comes, the real training will show them. Good, Duffy, keep showing me everything I've taught you like that. Rosinante, come here, I have something for you. I'm here, teacher. Rob pulled out a strange fruit from his inventory to the astonishment of both Rosinante and Doflamingo. Eat this, I got it for you. Chapter 68, Morgans begins his journalistic career by piracy the manga. Shanks and Buggy appear on stage. Grand Line, the New World, on an island. Come here, we have a hot commodity that has just started spreading to the world. It's entertaining tales and stories that will surely make your days entertaining. Whether you are a pirate, a marine, a criminal, or even just an ordinary person, I am sure that you will definitely enjoy the story of the adventures of the Straw Hat Luffy crew. You have to go to the 4 Seas if you want to read this, but I brought it here for you. Additional information. The author of this book is a member of the Roger Pirates, who has recently become famous by his name, Sky Sword Rob. So what are you waiting for to buy the manga books? It's so cheap. It's only 5,000 berry for the first part, and I have 7 parts, exactly the same number that came out so far. In a public square, people gathered around the person who had been shouting interesting things the whole time. The figure of the man who was constantly shouting looked like an albatross bird, his entire body covered in feathers and wearing a black hat. Morgans was 26 years old, yet to start his career. Is this book really worth 5,000 berry? Asked a man among the crowd who was looking at the manga book collection arranged in order of volumes. Buy the first book, and if you don't come back to buy the second, third, fourth, and I swear to everyone present that I will give you back your money. Morgans was confident in his gamble. After all, this wasn't his first time, he had never lost at such a gamble before. Okay, I accept your challenge. I'm going to read this book here. If it's not interesting, you'll get my money back. Me too. And me too. Give me the first book too. Come on, this is yours, and this is yours too. You will definitely not regret it, haha. Morgans was excited when he saw the same interested and enthusiastic looks on the faces of the people who had bought the first book when they started reading it. Just as he expected, the magic of One Piece never dies. The magic of One Piece applies to everyone without exception. The Trade Emperor is truly a genius, worthy of being this father's destined rival. After some time. Hey, give me the second book, this book is really cool, here, 5,000 berry. Oh, unfortunately, I have a limited batch of the item, so the second book is a little more expensive than the first. It's worth 6,000 berry, sir. Morgan's gaze turned maliciously as he spoke cunningly. After they had fallen into his claws, he would surely milk these fat sheep. What? I am really sorry, sir, but I really have no choice. It is difficult to get so many copies from the original of this book. Okay, here's 6,000 berry. Quickly give me the second book. Me too, take this 6,000 berry. Give me the second book too. Morgan's was pleased with the ease of taming of these fat sheep. Just keep giving me your money. After all, my dream depends on it. This father's dream is to be the #1 journalist in the world. I'll make even the trade emperor Rob bow before me. Ha 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 ha. This? Those are impossible. Suddenly the bird's eyes for Morgan's narrowed when he saw the two figures among the crowd. He had definitely seen them somewhere. Very close place. Morgan's looked at the manga books piled up in front of him. He definitely saw them here. Hoi, Shanks. Look at there, something there that is definitely interesting, otherwise, not many people will gather on it, do you think? I think you're right, why don't we take a look? Buggy? Shanks looked behind him and didn't even find Buggy's shadow, then looked ahead, only finding dust behind Buggy, who was running at full speed toward the crowd. Oi! Buggy, wait for me. Buggy entered through the huddled crowd as Shanks followed behind him. In the end, they managed to reach the center of the crowd. On the floor, they saw a group of familiar books arranged in an orderly fashion, which a bird standing on two legs was selling. Shanks and Buggy looked toward the manga books seriously. Shanks remembers that majestic figure of his future version while talking to the bandits and also after saving Luffy from a sea monster, and when he gave the captain's straw hat to him. As for Buggy, he remembered that arrogant clown who was played by a group of kids and they turned him into a joke and stole his treasure map as well. Shanks, this is Brother Rob's manga book. Buggy, damn you, do you want to discredit this father in the new world too? Buggy, look, there are new volumes of Big Brother Rob's manga. I think the crew will be interested to read that. How about we buy them all? Shanks whispered with low voice in Buggy's ear. We won't, I don't want to. You'll probably will make me a joke and laughingstock again like you've done all along until now. Speak in a low voice, you bastard. The people who had just finished reading the second volume under the title, Orangetown, looked toward the two kids who were screaming loudly. Their eyeballs nearly fell out of shock. Whether it was a coincidence or something else, the two who were in front of them in the One Piece manga appeared exactly the same. Flashback Buggy, when he accidentally ate a devil fruit because of Shanks. For a moment, eyes met on them from all sides, and it was not only Morgan's who was now shocked, but everyone present. Only people who haven't read the manga yet were confused as to what was going on. Shanks took advantage of this astonishment and stole Volume 6, Arc Lodetown, and Volume 7, Arc Laboon. These two books were the only ones they hadn't read yet. Once he succeeded in it, he pulled a stunned Buggy and they ran away at full speed. Although the two kids are gone, the stunned people remain. These kids. They're Buggy and Shanks, aren't they? Not possible. The similarity between them is 100%. Are my eyes deceiving me? Maybe. Bastard thieves. They stole my books. Morgan's recovered himself and found two books missing from his collection, which already contains the fewest books. The 6th and 7th volumes were the end of the first saga and the beginning of the second saga of the story. They were a rare commodity. But the bastard's thieves stole from his rare commodity. It was two books together worth 150,000 berry. This was the price he decided to sell these two books for. These kids caused him a great loss. When Rob finds out that Morgan's is cheat on people with his work, he will surely get a taste of hell. Chapter 69, Roger's enthusiasm for conquering the sea became stronger than the original story. I won't lose to Straw Hat Luffy. On Oro Jackson. Roger, BFT. Wahahaha. Rob never ceases to amaze me, this is really amazing. Gabun Buggy, heaven has punished you for your arrogance, ha ha ha. Gabun. And you, Shanks, you'd better be careful not to let your hand become food for that sea snake, lest you become a joke to your friend, the best swordsman in the world. That would be an insult to our Roger pirates. Rayleigh, I agree. Shanks, of course, I'd be more careful if something like that happened. I wouldn't let that Hawkeye look down on me. Shanks, Buggy, I didn't expect you to have such bad luck in the future. I really pity you, my friend. Shanks, but, BFT, ha 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 ha, sorry, that's really funny, my stomach hurts from laughing so hard. Spencer, ha 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 ha, I think the lightning was so hurt, man, you'd better avoid anyone named Luffy in the future. Rayleigh, well, stop laughing, guys. Buggy, you really are the star of this part. Despite all the odds, I didn't expect you to ally with a beautiful woman like Alvida. But even with all your strength you couldn't do anything in front of a Logia user. Look, you see, Rob here sends a hidden message to you so you can start learning hockey just like Shanks and stop being lazy. Rayleigh, never refuse the captain's kindness again. Buggy looked at all his companions who were laughing at him while he gritting his teeth in anger. Well, what can he do about that? That bastard Rob wasn't here to get revenge. But he still took Rayleigh's advice to heart. He couldn't allow a future like this to happen in reality no matter what. Even Rob didn't expect Rayleigh to think he was sending Buggy hidden messages, which in turn motivates Buggy to train hard. Because of this small event, Buggy decided to train harder with Shanks. Perhaps in the future, Shanks won't be the only Yonko from this ship. Guys, I don't know why, but I have a strange feeling. I think that Garp's son was the one who caused that lightning. Roger was seriously looking at the man covered in a green cloak in the manga. This person made him feel a lot of mystery. He recognized him because he had seen him more than once in the company of his father when he pursued him on another hunt. I wish I could live longer to see that mysterious future that you can see, Rob. Garp's son? Ah, you're right, it's that dragon who seems smarter than his retarded father. Rayleigh raised his glasses while also staring at the picture of the futuristic dragon. When he saw the picture, he had the same feeling of mystery that his captain felt as well. Could he? Does he have that power to control the weather? But now he is still too weak. This book seems to be the end of the East Blue story. Come on, let's read the next book. I'll start first, I'm the captain after all. Ha ha ha. Roger has taken the manga book, which has a different cover than the previous series, a huge whale with lots of scars, the Kingdom of Sand, Kingdom of Snow, Little Raccoon, Kingdom of Dinosaurs, and two giants familiar to Roger decorate the cover of the new saga, called the Baroque Works Saga. The grand line, after all, is the real challenge. Let me see your story, Luffy, what would you do better than me? A mysterious flash appeared in Roger's eyes before he disappeared. No one noticed. While Buggy was the star of the previous part, you guys won't believe who the star of this part is. This is really amazing. Stars appeared in Roger's eyes as he remembered the events of the part he had just read. The more and more he reads from this book, the more he discovers that this Luffy looks a lot like him. Incredibly similar. Give me this, I am the vice captain so I may read it after you. Rayleigh took the book and began to read. After some time, the same astonished expression that was on Roger's face appeared on him. Roger, you see. It was fun, wasn't it? Rayleigh looked at Crocus, then Roger, and nodded. It was really the fun part. The interaction of the Straw Hat crew reminded him of their crew's beginnings. They were almost the same. I'm sure a crew like this will make the world turn upside down in the future. Wahahaha, your insight is still sharp, old Rayleigh, as expected. Roger, are you hiding something from me? Huh? What? Give me the book now, Rayleigh. You've done with it, right? So it's my turn. Gabon took the book from Rayleigh's hand in annoyance and looked toward the crowd of pirates, eager to take the book from his hand. You guys can wait, or it will be my axe that will speak. Gabon pointed at his sharp axes, causing the crowd to shiver in terror. He removed his sunglasses and turned around to silently read the book. Let's read also, you bastard, it's not fair. You'll follow a class approach, it's not fair. Why do you have to threaten us like that? Why haven't I appeared in the manga yet? Crocus has even appeared, but I haven't shown up yet. Looks like Rob forgot the money I was lending him when he needed it. Tears of sadness fell from Gabon's eyes before he put on his sunglasses. Well, I'll forgive him if he draws me next time. After all, this is such a fun story, I love it. Crocus, isn't that the whale you told me about? Ha! Did you say I appeared in the manga? Give me the damn book now. If that bastard turns me into a joke, I'll show him the pain. When Crocus heard his name, he took the manga book out of Gabon's hand so quickly under the crew's furious eyes, he didn't even let Gabon finish his sentence. After a period. This. How? How does he know all this? I don't remember telling him about Laboon's story before. And will Laboon be like this because of the truth I will tell him in the future? This? I don't understand anything anymore, I give up. The manga folder fell from Crocus' hand, and before he fell to the ground another person managed to catch it, but another group of men who wanted to read the manga fell on it. At the end of the day, everyone on the ship had managed to read the 2 volumes. Their friend's story was amazing and appetizing, they will be sure to read more in the future. You guys? Yes, Captain Roger. Everyone loudly responded to their captain's call. After all, they were all at the dining table at the moment. Let us conquer the sea with greater force from now on. Let our name be immortalized in the pages of history in a greater way than we may in some future. The men stopped eating or drinking while dumbfoundedly looking toward Roger, who looked as excited as a kid at the moment. Let's get to the next level at full speed. Not only will we settle for the title of Greats Pirates, but we also have to become the Pirates Kings. We have to reach the final island and fulfill our friend's prophecy. Men, will you come with me? Oh. Sure, Captain, we'll go to the hell with you. Ah, looks like you got our early days back because of the manga, you really haven't changed, Roger, all these years. But, I like this. I'll go with you wherever you want, you're the captain after all. Rayleigh stopped drinking the sake and said out loud. The crew members followed after him, they all said the same thing. You all. Really best friends. Roger looked at Rayleigh and the rest of his crew with a happy smile. His enthusiasm for conquering the sea became even stronger. He won't lose to Straw Hat Luffy for sure. Chapter 70, Remains of Shimatsuki Clan at a Confusion. Garp asks. Have you found the mother of my grandson? Or you haven't found her yet? East Blue, Shimatsuki Village. The gentle wind breeze brushed the vast field of green vegetation and painted a wonderful picture of the peak of the spring season. The art store stood tall in this beautiful environment. From the outside, it looked as quiet as every day. But inside it was another story. Here, you'll find simple villagers, high-ranking civilians, pirates, and criminals, and kids, and maybe you can see a marine from time to time disguised in civilian clothes or even a cipher pole in disguise. The important thing is that there were people of all classes enjoying their time as if they were a group with identical rights and duties. Of course, some of them might have different goals and threatening thoughts, but under the strict law of the system, they were all without any potential for any real threat. Without anyone complaining, they all continued to enjoy modern wines and wonderful manga. Such was the case in all the ubiquitous art stores in the sea. But here in Shimatsuki Village, a certain old man would get into a fit of rage every time he got a chance, both inside and outside the art store. Just like this. Ui! Kusharu! Suna! Yes, we are here, Great Father Kozaburo. The old man named Kozaburo removed his pipe and puffed away the smoke before looking at the 2 young man and woman kneeling in front of him with an angry look on his old face. This scene had been repeated so often recently that the 2 kneeling young man and woman could no longer say the exact number. Where's my granddaughter Kuina? Haven't you made it yet? You bastard Kusharu, how dare you underestimate my granddaughter? I'm Shimatsuki Kozaburo just because she's a woman. Ha! Is this my upbringing for you? And you, Suna? How dare you die and leave my cute granddaughter in the cold hands of this bastard? The old man once again began to angrily shout at the 2 of them, teaching them how to raise and take care of Kuina so that she could become the future brightest star in the swordsmanship world. Kusharu and Suna couldn't help but endure Kozaburo's endless tantrum while crying without tears. But the hard part has yet to come. And you, Kusharu. Here he comes. Both Tsuna and Kushiro cried out in terror as Kushiro prepared to receive his father's angry sword attack. How? How can you be so careless, and let my granddaughter die? Why did you cause my granddaughter to die? Ha? Are you even a father? Damn you, take that! Old man Kozaburo used his pipe like a sword, and the moment the pipe slashed the air, a blade of white energy flew from the pipe towards Kushiro directly. Boom! Kushiro didn't dare to be careless and used hockey-coated Wado Ikamanji to block this attack with all his might. But as it always happened. Arg! Oto-san, do you want to kill me? Kushiro flew violently and hit the dojo wall before falling to the ground. Anata! Are you okay? Tsuna ran towards Kushiro to check on him. Humph. A father who can't educate or protect his daughter well, you better die. Oh Yaji! Stop the bullshit, we haven't had any kids yet, we only got married 2 years ago. Has your mental illness gotten more serious since you started reading manga? What? Are you saying that I'm Shimatsuki Kozaburo, who made half the swords of Wano country history, a crazy? Kozaburo looked at Kushiro angrily. It seemed that this son of his needs more beating to understand his words well. Kozaburo was an old man who appeared to be 68 years old but still somewhat of a strong physique, with large, thick white hair hanging down the sides of his face, a ponytail over a tuft of light hair, and a beard around his jaw. He had a scar on his left temple as well. He wore a kimono decorated with flowers and sandals. He also carried a katana with him and often smoked a kazero, a smoking pipe. Ah! No, Oyaji, I never meant that. Kushiro, who appeared to be 22 years old, tried to explain himself but he couldn't find anything to say. No, great father, I guess my husband didn't mean it, he is only concerned about your health, you know, you are our clan pride. The woman who spoke was Shimatsuki Tsuna, Kushiro's wife, who looked exactly like a large version of Kuina at 20 years old. Tsuna, you always stand up for that bastard, but your sweet words are great to hear, shihahaha. You've read the holy book, haven't you? After Kozaburo calmed of his angry state, he asked the two of them a question. You mean manga One Piece, Oyaji? It's the holy book, not a manga, at least for me, the holy book that will make the world realize our illusory reality. Both Kushiro and Tsuna's eyes trembled as they heard the old man's nonsense again. In their eyes he had definitely lost it. We have already read it, Oyaji, we are also confused about it. Despite all the confusion, we have decided to correct such mistakes if we happen to have a daughter in the future. Don't worry about it, Oto-san. Kushiro spoke with complete certainty while Tsuna supported his words. You don't understand anything, you can't see what I saw, your life experience is very small, you might think I'm crazy but the holy book paints exactly the future. Kuina will surely come to this world and I will take care of her until my last breath. I will not allow the descendant of the main families, the green-haired brat, to exceed my granddaughter. Never. In the sky above Shimatsuki village. Rob was hidden far from the samurai senses of the old man and his son. He was looking at the situation with a smile. He had seen and heard a lot of interesting things. In fact, he has never seen or known about this person named Shimatsuki Kozaburo, but he is sure that he will appear in the Wano arc for the weekly manga update on planet Earth. Unfortunately, for Rob, he has moved into this world without knowing much of what will happen next. However, if he encounters such events, he will obtain a lot of pieces of information needed to finish the manga. Now, he knows a vital piece of information, like Zoro's father, Kuina's mother, and her grandfather as well. Fusha Village Pier. A warship stood on the pier and dragon in the uniform of a navy captain descended from it. I'll go find Vice Admiral Garp, get ready to set sail anytime, men. Yes. Captain Dragon. Dragon looked at the familiar village in front of him and continued on his way. He had come to this place more than once in recent months, as a naval captain who had to move constantly, so every time he received a mission from headquarters he would take his father's ship and leave. But his father, who was vice admiral and who was supposed to do the tasks, had been at ease in the village since he first came and left everything on him. But what can he do about it? His father was a beast in the skin of a man, he didn't dare to disobey him. All his misfortunes happened because of the art store and the so-called manga. Dragon sighed as he entered the only tavern in this village. He could hear his father's laughter from a distance coming from this tavern. Little Makino raised her little hands to touch Garp's face while laughing happily. Inside the tavern, Garp was holding the 3-month-old Makino and playing with her while making funny faces. Little Makino's laughter echoed in the tavern, making Father Mercar even happier to see it. Next to Father Mercar, the owner of the tavern, stood a beautiful brown-haired woman who was Makino's nanny. When Father Mercar decided not to die, he decided to hire a nanny for his daughter, but this beautiful woman from Goa Kingdom came to raise her for free, just because she loved Makino. The love his daughter received from everyone on this island was the reason for his desire to live. "Hello, dragon, you've back, that's good. So where is my grandson's mother? Have you not found her yet?" The blood in Dragon's body froze when he heard that, while Father Mercar and the nanny both laughed at it. After all, they were so used to this situation, it looked like déjà vu. "I told you I don't want a wife right now, don't you understand, old man?" Dragon was really angry. His father was deliberately making his life difficult. "I say you need it, will you disobey this father's orders?" "Oh, Makino-chan, you're so cute, look at that bastard over there, he doesn't want to give birth to your little son in the future, Luffy, should we punish him?" That wraps up this part of What If Becoming a Mangaka in One Piece World. Thanks so much for listening. As always, new parts drop every 4 days, so be sure to stay tuned. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like, subscribe, share it with your friends, and please consider supporting the original author as well. See you in the next one.